Hello friends, this is Shelly from Koala Knits and Knacks, and I'm so glad you clicked on this tutorial. We are going to make a simple striped baby blanket with a square lace crochet border. I love this pattern and I've made it several times. This is a new border that I just decided to try. I made it up as I went along and I think it looks great. So I'm going to call it the square lace border. But I've made this style of blanket many times because it's just very pretty and it works up quite fast. You're going to need your Addi 22 needle machine. I used Bernat Premium yarn in robin's egg and I needed 2 balls of that, and each ball is 198 grams. And for the white yarn, that was also Bernat Premium, and I need 3 balls for that. But you will have some left in each ball, in your last balls of each color, when you're completed this project. So join me and let's get started. You could use whatever colors you like. You can actually use more than 2 colors and just follow along on the same pattern. But join me and we'll create something beautiful. All right, see you soon. All right, so we're going to get started. We've got our 22 needle machine ready to go. Mine is so dusty. It's been actually sitting for the last 2 or 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I have been busy with family emergency, and so this has been sitting and it's all dusty. I should have cleaned it off before we started, but that's okay. So I'm going to put my last white, my first black needle in line with my yarn guide there, but I'm going to color this. This is this little red divider between those two, the last white and the first black. And it was rubbing off already. I do that for all my machines because I find that it makes it easier for me to see when the end of the row is coming around. All you got to do is color it with a black permanent marker, and it dries in no time and it doesn't come off on your project. So it eventually wears off, but it doesn't show anything on your project, so you're safe to do it. I'm going to take my waste yarn. We need waste yarn for both ends of these tubes. We're going to go behind that first black needle, in front of the next, behind and in front, all the way around. I love doing projects on my Addi 22 needle machine. It just doesn't give me any hassles like some of my bigger machines do. And now that I've said that, watch it happen. But generally, this machine is just such a beautiful machine to work with, okay? So I'm going to do 5 or 6 or 7. Depends how long this waste yarn is here, and I'm going to just I normally do 7 rows of waste yarn, so I might be able to get that out of here. We'll see. No, this is my last row and I might not make it. Yep, I made it. So there we go. So I've got it back to my last white, my first black, and I'm going to put that end in between those 2 needles. I'm going to set my row counter to 0, and I'm going to take, we're going to use our Bernat Premium in robin's egg. I love this color because you know what? This color can be for a boy or for a girl. And so the person that this is going to, we don't know what the sex of the baby is going to be yet. So we chose a color that would be perfect for both, okay? And so this robin's egg and Bernat Premium is just a beautiful color. And I'm going to have it as my we need 11 panels, and I'm going to do 5 panels of the green and 6 panels of the white. I want white to be on the ends. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to knit 3 or 4 needles. Then we're going to take both ends of that working yarn. And this is the one that I always watch, this where my finger's pointing here. I want to make sure that I tug it so that that goes down under there. Then I know that my tension is going to be nice on the first few needles there as well. And it'll be even to the rest of the rows, okay? So I am going to just knit with this basic color until I have knitted 200 rows. There's a reason why I call it the simple striped blanket, because it really is a simple blanket to make. And it's beautiful. Like it turns out so beautiful. And you have the option of doing whatever borders that you would like to do on your blanket. But for now, we're going to work on our panel. So I'm going to knit until I get to 200 rows. And for me, I'm doing 5 rows of this robin's egg, 2 panels of this robin's egg, and I'm doing 6 panels of the white. I think I might have already mentioned that, but just in case I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to keep going, and I have a little hole drilled in my table that's going to keep falling through because it's very hard to roll up a 22 needle panel into a donut as you get length. So you really need to be able to go out the side or down through the tube there. so that the tension remains even. So keep going until you get to 200 rows. And when you get to 200 rows, finish your 200th row, and then we'll add waste yarn, okay? All right, so that didn't take too long, did it? This is clicking on 199 and 200, and I'm going to watch for that black divider to come around. And I know that I'm done, okay? I'm going to cut off a tail. Okay. You want to cut off one that's long enough that you can put on your needle later to work through the ends. You don't want to cut it so short that you have a hard time hiding the ends, because we use this piece to close up the ends once we're done our braided join, which I'll show you later. So leave a good 8 or 10 inches there, and that'll be plenty, okay? So now that we've cut it off, we've put it between our last white and our first black. We're going to go ahead and take our waste yarn, put it into our yarn guide, close the latch, and we are going to go ahead and knit. I'm going to just do one little tie there. We're going to knit how many rows you feel comfortable knitting for your waste yarn. At the end of your project, the waste yarn always unravels very easily, so you don't want to go any less than 7. I would say 7 or 8, because you don't want it to unravel, okay? And mine's going to run out in the middle there, but that's okay because it's waste yarn, so it doesn't matter, because I'm going to just keep turning. Waste yarn at the beginning of the project, you will have to make sure that you make it to the last white and the first black needle, but at the end of the project, you can just let it run out if it's a piece, and it doesn't matter what needle it ends on, okay? So we're going to take that out. We are going to do what we always do. We're going to stretch it widthwise all the way down the tube. Okay. And then I'm going to go all the way down, but I'll just for the camera's sake here. And then we're going to stretch it lengthwise all the way down. So you go ahead and you do that to your tube there. You're going to make 5 in your dark color, and you're going to make 6 exactly like this in your light color, or the opposite, however you want to do it. If you want to make a multicolored blanket with more than 2 colors, you just go ahead and figure out what order you want your colors to be, and you're going to do 11 panels in total. So really you can design it how you want. If you don't want to use 2 colors, you go to town, use all 11 colors if you like, and make 1 panel in each. That would be a beautiful blanket, actually. So you go ahead and make all 11 panels just like that. And then we're going to close the ends. Now, actually for me, I close, I make one, I close the ends, I make another, I close the ends, and I go with a process like that. So I'm going to take this machine off the table, and I'm going to show you how I close the ends, okay? All right, so to close our ends, we need 2 of my favorite stitch markers, the bobby pins, and I'm going to use a 4.0 millimeter hook. And you can use whatever hook you have. You don't want to go much bigger than that, because it's harder to get underneath these little stitches, but it doesn't really matter what size you use, to be honest. Okay, we're going to undo that knot. We're going to take our first stitch marker. Now, I'm going to just, if you pull on, depending what side you're on here, but if you pull on your waste yarn, you'll see that it's going underneath that loop. And I'm going to hook that as my first one. Then to the left of it, you're going to see that there are 2 like that. Take the top one, okay? Now, we know there are 22 stitches on this machine, so I want to get exactly the center there. So I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this one is 12. 12 and 11, I know, are my 2 center, my 2 end stitches. So I'm going to go underneath number 12, then pick up number 11, bring it through the loop on my hook. Now I've worked 2 stitches, okay? So then we're going to go down to the bottom here, pick up that one, that's 3, up to the top, 4, down to the bottom, 5, up to the top, 6, in like manner, all the way to the end, making sure you count all 22 stitches, because you do not want to miss one of these stitches. Okay, we need to get them all so that we don't have a row that drops, okay? So the reason, number 12 that you put your hook under in the beginning, that counts as number 1. That first little loop on your hook will count as number 1, okay? And then you're gonna go across until you can pick them all up. This will be 21 under the bobby pin. Pull it out. You can pull up on that one to get underneath that. That's 22. Yarn over and pull it through. You've just closed off that end, okay? Now this is the start of our project, so we need to remove this waste yarn. Now I know I'm going to get comments from many of you saying, why don't you put line in there, so you can just pull out the one piece of yarn and it'll take off your whole waste yarn. And I do know how to do that, and I've done it on a video, but I just prefer this way. I don't think it takes any more time, actually. You pinch that stitch at the top and you pull out that top row like that. You move over, roll it up, pinch that next stitch, 3 or 4 stitches down, unwind that, or pull that out, and then you go down. Okay, I'm almost done here. Then I'm going to pinch that last one and pull out that last row. That's how you pull out the last row, okay? And then you can just unwind this just like easily. So yes, I do know that there is another way. I get a lot, when I do it this way, I get a lot of comments telling me, you know that there's another way to do it. And so, yes, I'm telling you, I do know. And thank you for trying to spare me some time, but I actually don't think it takes me any longer to do it this way. And I do prefer it, actually. So, so yeah, it's just what I'm used to, and I don't find it hard at all. I rarely will get a knot, okay? So the other end, I'm going to pull that out. Now I see the waste yarn coming out of this little loop here. So that's going to be my first one. And then to the left of it, there's these 2 there. I'm going to take the top one. That'll be my last one. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to count around till my 12th stitch. I'm going to put my hook under that 12th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's going to count as number 1. Go to the top, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't matter if you go over top of the stitch like that and grab it, or if you go underneath and grab it. You can do however you want. The task is to get that loop through the loop on your hook. So it really doesn't matter how you pick it up. It does not change the look of your closure at all, okay? So I prefer to just go over top and grab it with a hook and then come through. Okay, and this is the end of our project, so it is going to unravel with no problem. You don't have to pull out the first row, okay? These are where the bobby pins are nice, because sometimes the end stitches are tight. You just have to pull it up, get under there, then pull out your bobby pin, work your stitch, pull up on that one, get underneath it, pull it out, yarn over, pull it through that loop, and now you can just unravel this one, okay? Just like that. So now that we've got our ends closed, just like so, we've got these ends here that we need them to be there, so don't cut them off short. I'm going to just smooth this panel out. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish all my panels, or you can sew them together as you make them and keep up that way, however works best for you. I actually make them, close the end, attach a panel, make one, close the end, attach a panel. That's how I do it. So I'm going to show you now how we do the mattress stitch to join the panels. All right, so this is exciting because it just works up so easy and so quick, really. Like, I put several panels together last night as I was sitting and watching a movie, and I just love this color. Now I want white to be on the outside because I want it to I just think it makes it softer looking when the outside panels are white. This one is not my end panel. I still have to add 2 more. So I'm going to add my green now. But this is why I tell you to leave a little tail here, okay? Because when we start, we're going to, first off, we're going to line it up so that the tail end is next to the working end here, okay? Because we're going to need that to close off the very top, which I'll show you. But I have a stitch marker in here because you always want to make sure that the top of your work, the right side of your work, is facing up, facing you when you're putting your panels on, because there is a wrong side. The wrong side is beautiful too, but it does look a little bit different. It's not as prevalent as the braid on the other side. So this is the right side. We need that to be up so that when we're doing our braid, it's on the right side, okay? And so that's why I just move my stitch marker along all the time. And then I also leave it on this end because you want to start on the same end all the time. So that your V's, when you look at this, oops, I dropped my little light there. When you look at this braid here, it's going like this, okay? You'll see these V's are going the wide end up, okay? And so I want that to be the same on every panel. I don't want, unless you want to alternate them and do it that way. I've never done that on a blanket. I just thought of that now as I'm doing this. But I always start on the same end with the right side up, okay? And always have one tail. If this side had a tail right here, then I would do it this way, so that I only have one tail and then I've got this tail for the other side, okay? Because like I said, we need a tail to sew. What we're gonna do now is we're going to find that end row. When you straighten this out, that has the wide part of the V. I hope that this lighting is good. I'm just looking at my camera now as I'm talking to you, and I'm not sure that it is. So I'm going to shut it off soon and then check and then see if I have to reposition. But anyways, you gotta have your row going down the side where the wide part of the V is going down. So right now, this naturally falls where the wide part of the V is up at the top. See that? And the point is down. So I am going to give it 1/2 a turn, just like that, so that I have the wide part of the V facing down on both sides, okay? Then I'm going to follow that row down. So what I do is I just smooth it out for about 6 or 8 inches, just like that. And then when you pinch it, there should be no problem getting in that same row. You want to follow that same row all the way down each side, okay, without twisting your work at all. Some people find that a little bit challenging, you know, I'm not sure why actually, but I think that's okay. We all have our different parts of our projects that we find very hard, but maybe what you need to do is just concentrate on a 6 to 8 inch section at a time. Go ahead and smooth that out and then pinch it so you've got that straight bar going down there. Smooth this out about 8 inches. So you have that straight bar going down there, and then you follow it down, and then you just redo it the next 8 inches and the next 8 inches, just like that, just so it makes it easier. Now, I've got 200 rows on each panel, so even if I line these up on the floor and one looks longer than the other, it's just because of the tension that I used when I was stretching them out. But if you've done 200 rows, it will work out and you won't have to shorten any panels or anything like that, okay? So this is my first stitch. That's my first stitch. I always leave that for this tail here. I'm going to go into the second one here. Pull up that middle bar, then go across into the second one, pull up that middle bar and bring it through the white bar, okay? Then I'm going to, it's come out right here. I'm going to go down to this next one. And this is the one that was worked, so I'm going to count 1, 2. So I miss a bar, and I take every second one, essentially, okay? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is where it's worked. So you can see the difference in how that looks. It's a bit wider, so I count that 1. So I'm going to miss that bar, go down to this next one, 2. 1, 2. We have no color change rows that we have to match up. So this is very basic and very quick, okay? So I'm going to now smooth that out, smooth this out, get another section there that I have flat, and I'm gonna keep working, okay? All the way down, every second bar, okay? And once you get the swing of it, you can go, oops. Once you've done it as many times as I've done it, and some of you have, some of you haven't, it does get easier. So don't be intimidated by the braided join. Just take your time. Smooth out your side like this. Smooth out the other side. Line them up. The wide part of the V is always going down. You're going to count 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you're going to do this all the way down until you get to the end. And when you get to the end, I'll meet you back. So have fun, don't stress. It's going to work out. If you did 200 rows on each panel, it will work out. So keep going, and I'll see you when you get to the end. All right, my friends, we made it to the end. And like I promised you, it matches and works out. Okay, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. Get under that little guy. Sometimes that one's hard to get under. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is just take 1 on this side. Okay. If it works out to do that, then that's what you have to do. Okay. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull that little guy through. So that's why I need that tail there. And the same way I sew up this end is how I'm going to sew up the very beginning ends where we started. I'm going to thread my needle. I'm going to find that stitch that's the very first one here on this side, okay? Opposite of the color that's on your yarn, on your needle, okay? I'm going to pull that through. I'm not going to pull it too tight. I just want to have it nice and evenly tensioned, okay? Then I'm going to go through that side, through that loop. And then with my thumbnail, I'm just going to pull that down to tighten it, just like that, okay? And I'm only going to do one little knot, and then I'm going to feed this through here because I'm going to do a crochet border. So it's going to hold this end in place as I add my crochet stitches. So if you're going to leave it here and you're not going to do a border, weave this back and forth 3 to 4 times. But I only have to do it, or 2 or 3 times actually, but I only have to do it once because like I said, when I do my crochet border, it's gonna snug up in there and it's gonna hold it together. So that's how I've got my ends done, okay? I'm gonna go up to the top here where we started. I'm going to move my stitch marker over just in case I put this down and I don't work on it anymore right now. When you come back to it, then you know exactly what end and what side you're working on, okay? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to now take that yarn end and I'm going to find that very base stitch there, last stitch there. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to snug it up. Just like that, okay? This one, I feel like I got to do another knot. I just feel like I do. Don't know why, but I feel like I do. So it doesn't hurt. I'm going to do it. I'm going to just weave that through there. I'm going to cut that off. I've got all these beautiful ends all finished, ready and waiting for my crochet. Okay. And then I'm going to take my last panel. Again, I don't want to put it like that because I have no end there. I have to put it this way. Okay. So I have an end to sew. I left this one a little bit short, so I'm going to probably fight a little bit with that one, but that's okay. I got it. Okay, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to line up your V's so that the wide part of the V on both panels is going to the left, okay? The point is at the top, and you're going to seam down the side just like you did the other one. And you're going to join all your panels in that way. Close off your ends, and when you're done that, your blanket will be finished. You can leave it like that. Add some, maybe a little tiny pom-pom on all 4 corners if you don't want to do a crochet border. Or you can do like a fringe on the ends, or if you want to join me for a crochet border, then that's what I'm going to do next. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this one panel here, and then I'll see you back, and I'm going to get my 5mm crochet hook and my white yarn, and I'm going to begin my border. All right, see you soon. All right, so can you see why now I call this the simple striped baby blanket? It's so fun to put together because it's quick, it's simple. There's not a lot to it, but yet it looks so beautiful and it's so cozy. Like, I love Bernat Premium yarn. I only started using it not that long ago, actually, and it's my go-to yarn now. I'm just loving it. It's soft, it works up well in the machine, and it's just a wonderful yarn. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our border on. Okay. All right, this is just a little insert before we start our single crochet. You want to make sure that the right side of your blanket is facing up. I already did my first row, but before we do it any further, you want to make sure the right side of your blanket is facing you when you join your yarn to start your single crochet, so that the right side of the crochet is on the right side of the blanket. Okay, so just make sure that before you start your crochet that the right side of your blanket is facing up. Okay, so let's continue. I start on the side, and I do not start at the end. I usually just go a few, I don't know, 10 or 12 stitches down. Doesn't really matter, but that's just how I always do it. You're going to go ahead and put a slip knot on your crochet hook. 5mm crochet hook is what I'm choosing to use. We're going to do a row of single crochet all around our blanket, okay? So I'm going to just go into one of these stitches along the side here, okay? I'm going to take my yarn. I'm going to yarn over and pull it through that stitch and through the loop that's on my hook, and that's how I'm joining, okay? I'm going to take this end and put it back over to the other side. I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch, okay? Just like that. I'm going to take my beautiful stitch markers. I'm going to put it in that first stitch there just so I can find it at the end when I get all the way around. It's important, okay? And now we're going to do a single crochet in every second stitch. So now I see this next one here. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to go under the 2 bars of this next one. Yarn over, pull it through. I have 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over, go through both. That's a single crochet. I'm going to miss this next one, and I'm going to go into the next one. Yarn over, pull it through, 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through both, and that's a single crochet. I'm going to miss this next one, and I'm going to go into the next one, and I'm going to single crochet. And I'm going to do that all the way up the side. Missing one and single crochet in the next one. Now you don't want a tight tension. You don't want a loose tension, but you want looser more so than tighter, okay? Because you do not want your single crochet row to be gathering, to be pulling on your side and changing the shape of your blanket, okay? So just let it slip nicely through your fingers and have just a regular tension, okay? Just like that, every second stitch under both bars. Simple, right? Even if you're not a crocheter, you can do this. And if you want to practice your single crochet more, then I have a video on that on my channel too, and you can practice, you can learn how to crochet all the different stitches, or several different stitches that I've got on my channel. So you might want to look those up as well. But for now, we're going to single crochet in every second stitch all the way up. And when I get to the corner, I'm going to see you back and I'll show you what I do in the corner. Okay? It's easy too, so don't panic. All right? So we'll see you soon. So that's what our border's looking like. Like, it's so beautiful. It's not pulling. It's just nice and smooth because I used just a nice tension. Okay, and if you find that it's pulling like this or it's bunching, then your tension is too tight and you want to loosen it up a bit. If you find that you got big loops on your stitches, then you know your tension is way too loose, okay? So just play with it until you get it straight. Now, when you get to the end here, sometimes you'll have 3 stitches here, sometimes you'll have the 2. You just want to make it work, okay? Because, you know, depending where you start in your project down the side, it will depend how many you have up here, okay? But I don't stress that too much. I have, so this would be one, and I would go into this one, and then this next one would be my corner. So I'm just going to put one in this next one. I'm not going to miss one. I'm just going to put a single crochet in that very next stitch just to make me a little bit closer. And then in this corner, I'm going to poke my hook through. I'm going to do a single crochet, a chain 1, and a single crochet in that same space, okay? Just like that. Then I'm going to turn my work, and you'll see where our V's are. It's hard to see this on the white, I know, but I'm going to put a stitch in every row, okay? So I'm going to start with one that's a little bit closer to the edge there, or to the corner, okay? And then I'm going to go into the ones where the wide part of the V is up. And I'm going to do a single crochet. Then I'm going to go, this is where the narrow part is. I'm going to go into that next one where the wide part of the V is showing. There's at the top, and I'm going to do a single crochet, okay? And I'm going to do that all the way across. So it's hard to see. It's hard to see in this when you're using white yarn. So when I get to the green yarn, I'll show you again, okay? But I'm going 1 single crochet in every row. Okay, so in the corners, it's single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, all in the same corner stitch, okay? This little knot's a little hard to get into, but we're gonna make it work, okay? Now you've got your braid there, okay? I don't wanna skip across to there, it'll be tight, okay? So I want to, skipping across to here where the wide V is. So I'm gonna just go across over half a stitch, okay? If I go right into the middle of that braid there, then I think that's too close. So you just got to eyeball it and begin where it looks like it will work good. So I'm going to put that there. I don't want to go too far because I don't want a big space there. I already have a little one, but when I do my second row, you won't see it. And then I'm going to go into the stitches where you see the V is at the top there, okay? So I'm going to go into there. This one I'm going to make a little bit looser because I had to reach a little bit farther, okay? I'm going to miss this and I'm going to go into there. Okay? All the way across. Then when I get to the corner, I'm going to do a single crochet, chain one, single crochet in the corner, and then I'm going to go every second stitch down the long side, down the length, and then I'm going to do the top corner just like this again, okay? So you're going into every row along the top and the bottom, and you're going into every second stitch along the sides. And again, I'm always choosing the row where the wide part of the V is up here. That helps me to follow the same spacing. Okay, so one more in there. I'm going to try to get one right there. Okay, and now I can follow along into each row as previously done, okay? Even I'm having a hard time seeing this in the white. But that's okay. You keep going, and that's how you're going to finish your first row of single crochet, okay? And when you have that done, see me back and we'll join our first row and we'll begin our pattern on the next row, okay? Yep, looking great. I've made it all around. Oh, got my yarn a little bit tangled here. Let me just get it free. Okay, made it all the way around, and it worked out that I have one stitch left, but if you have 2 stitches left, then just go into one of them, and so there's not a 2-stitch gap, and it'll be good. Now I'm going to go where that stitch marker is. I'm going to put my yarn underneath. I'm going to yarn over, pull it through that stitch, and through the loop on my hook to do a slip stitch, okay? I'm going to chain 2. Now I'm going to do a row of half double crochet all the way around. Yarn over, go into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. I've got 2 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through, or pardon me, 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Not thinking. Sorry, there were 3 loops on my hook, okay? Now I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to miss that next stitch. I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to go into the next one. I got 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, go through all 3, chain 1. Okay, and I'm going to repeat that pattern. Half double crochet, chain 1, miss 1. Okay, so yarn over, miss this next one, go into the next one, do a half double crochet, chain 1. I'm going to miss this one, but I'm going to yarn over, go into the next one, do a half double crochet and a chain 1. Miss the next one, and into the next, do a half double crochet and a chain 1. I love half double crochets. I think that they look so pretty, and generally I don't add a chain 1 to them, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do another row of the same thing in between each of the spaces. So it'll look really pretty. So I'm going to do this all the way around, and I'll meet you when I get to the corner, and I'll show you what I do with the corner, okay? Oops, snag that one. Come on, little fella. There we go, chain 1, miss 1, half double crochet, chain 1, miss 1, half double crochet, chain 1, miss 1, all the way around till I get to the corner, and then I'll see you back. All right, so I'm coming up to my corner, okay? I'm gonna just do my chain 1 here. I've got 2 stitches left. I'm going to go into this one that's closest to, I'm gonna skip that one, go into the one that's closest to my corner there. I'm going to do my half double crochet, chain 1. Now here's my chain 1 space that we made. Some people do 2 chains, 2 chains when in their corners. They do their stitch, then chain 2, and then their stitch to make their corner. I like to do 1. Just depends on what stitch I'm doing, I guess, but I prefer to just do 1. But if you like to do 2, you go ahead and you do 2. So into that chain 1 space, I'm going to do a half double crochet, chain 1, and a half double crochet right back into that same space. Now I'm going to go into this very next stitch. I'm not going to skip one because I want to tighten up my corner just like that. So I'm going to go into the next one, chain 1, and then skip the next and go in to the next and follow my pattern, okay? That way my half double crochet is in the stitch that's right before the corner, and it's in the stitch that's right after the corner. And I just like how that looks and the shape that it takes, okay? So now I'm gonna go down the side here, just following the same pattern, making sure I don't forget my chain one, skip one, half double crochet, chain one, skip one, all the way down the side till I get to my next corner. Then in that corner, I'm going to do a half double crochet, chain one, half double crochet in that chain one space from the previous row, okay? Do that all the way around, and when we get to the end, we'll join and we'll change colors, and I'll see you back, okay? All right, so I've made it around. I've got my stitch marker in my first half double crochet, which is this one here, and the stitch that says to the left of it, that little top of the stitch there, this is my chain two. I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that half double crochet. I'm gonna, oops, knocked my camera, so sorry. I'm gonna take my next color. I can take this out now that I've got that in there. I'm going to yarn over, and I'm gonna pull it through that stitch and through that loop that was on my hook. I'm gonna just pull that loop a little bit tighter there. Okay, that's my slip stitch to join. I'm gonna chain two. Okay, and then I'm going to half double crochet into this space here. Half double crochet, chain one, go into that next space, half double crochet, chain one, into the next space, half double crochet, chain one, all the way around, okay? Oops, I'm pulling up on that thing there. Okay, until I get to the corner, and I'm going to do a half double crochet, chain one, half double crochet in the corner stitch, come around, join to the top of my half double crochet stitch here, and complete the stitch. And then you can do as many rows as you like. I'm actually, for this blanket, I'm only doing one. So one more row. So I'm going to finish this row and then I will be done. So I'll meet you back when I get to the end. Alrighty, my friends. So we crafters are able to change our mind at any given time. And after I did the green row, I thought, no, I really want to end in white. I have this thing about borders and the last panels and stuff being in white for a baby blanket. I don't know, it just looks, I just like it better with the 3 rows and with the green in the middle. I just think it just looks very lacy that way. So I added another row. So I'm going to go into the top of that first half double crochet. I'm going to slip stitch to join, yarn over and go through that to fasten off. I already cut the end because I knew where I was at. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hide that corner. And this is what that border looks like. I just love it, actually. I didn't follow a pattern for this. Like, I haven't seen this. I'm sure it's done somewhere, but I just figured it out as I was going along. Thought, I like half double crochets and I like little square looking things. So I'm going to call that border the, I don't know, what should I call it? The square border. Or I don't know. We'll see. You'll see it in the in the video name. So anyways, I like that border. I think it's great. So we did 1 row single crochet, 1 row of half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and then in the white, and then we changed colors and did a row in the second color, and then went back to the first color. And I would encourage you to do that because honestly, it makes a huge difference from what I should have showed you the whole thing done when it was just the green. Adding the next row just gave it that little bit more dimension and made it look a little bit more lacier. So I'm loving it. So there you go, my friends. You can't see a good shot on this picture because my camera's too low, but I'm going to hide that end. And then that is it. We have a beautiful blanket all finished, ready to give away. I just love it. I just think that these simple blankets turn out to be so beautiful. They're great for beginners. They're great for advanced knitters and crocheters. It's just an overall great blanket for gifting and for making for yourself, for your own kids, for whoever. It makes a beautiful lap blanket as well if you don't want to use it as a baby blanket. And you can increase do the same thing and increase the rows to 300 and add several more panels, and you know, however wide you want it, and make an adult blanket too, a full-length blanket. So there you have it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was so nice to be back spending time with you after a bit of a break here. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And please come on over and join my Facebook group, Koala Knits and Knacks, if you haven't done so already. We have a just an amazing group of crafters in that group, and you won't want to miss being a part of it. They're just so encouraging and so positive. It's a great group to be a part of. So come on over and join us. We'd love to have you there. And thanks again for joining me in this tutorial. Take care, my friends. See you next time.